It's like a gale force wind blowing in here. Could you? Yeah, that's better. Thanks. In Kusamo, there's only one inhabitant per 3.5 square kilometers, so there's enough space for all kinds of winter sports. Today, I have Colin Phillips at my side, who will give us first-hand information about ski jumping. Hi there, Colin.
Hello, Mark. I would have liked to start myself, but it wasn't meant to be.
The most important competition besides the four-hill tournament, the World Cup, is starting today. Qualification can be tricky. A number of favorites have tripped up here by taking too great a risk. But really, it should be straightforward. The best 50 skiers out of 72 qualify. Thanks to technology, we can look at the replay and be clear. It's a slight drizzle, but it scarcely affects visibility. We'll not let the yucky weather spoil our day.
No way.
Now that's how it's supposed to look. Yep. Calm posture, no fidgeting, no arm movement, and his chest bent far over his skis. No problem with his skis either. The wax is superb. His speed at takeoff will be amazing.
Well, it should be.
Now we get the chance to analyze. The winter sport area of Ruka, where Kusamo is located, is a paradise of snow. The average depth of snow is 80 to 90 centimeters, and the ski jump can be used all year round.
That sounds fabulous.
An English tabloid spread the news that you're afraid of flying.
Who said that? No, that's a fairy tale. That's a malicious allegation, actually.
So it's not true.
Well, the thing is, when I was a kid, I was afraid of heights. So my father took me to a ski jump and he said, if you jump down there, you'll never have to be afraid of anything.
And that was the beginning of your career.
That's right.
Let's take the... And now a German skier. I'm sure it's not only his coach he wants to impress.
Mark, what about Sven Hannavard? I haven't seen him around in a while.
He'll reappear on the scene, I'm sure of that.
Maybe.
Well, the score is just a little above average, but it's hard work to get there too. For him, it was a good day, I think.
Well, I agree with you, Mark. He's shown what he's capable of at the moment, and that's not too bad at all.
Let's see which 50 skiers have qualified for the next round.
Well, you can see some faces falling, but that's just the way things go.
The weather's not exactly glorious, but I hope the performances will make up for it.
Well, as long as visibility's okay, there'll be no problem.
That result is okay for him, isn't it, Colin?
Well, yes, absolutely. Of course, every athlete hopes for more before each competition, but I think that after this jump, the score is justified.
Let's hope. We're in Kusama, just 100 kilometers to the south of the Arctic Circle.
Oh, no wonder it's so bloody cold up here.
Up there, on the start bar, it's certainly even more uncomfortable. That was an okay landing, though. I've seen many a jumper who would have been happy to underflat like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And of course, there's always one or two things you can improve. That goes without saying. By the way, it was in the United States that the first ski jump with an elevated jump table was built back in 1912. But not in Park City, it was in Steamboat Springs. And the man responsible for it was, of course...
American?
No, a Norwegian, of course. His name was Carl Hovelsen.
Ah, good old Carl.
Let's have another... Yet another remark about the so-called hill size. The specification is calculated at that point of the outrun where there is still a 32% gradient. It's mostly a little less than the jury distance.
I couldn't explain it any better.
Maybe he had dreamt of a better distance when he sat up there in the start bar, but I think this was a decent performance.
Yeah, it was very good to look at.
Yeah. The replay will show. We separate the grain from the chaff, so the fine saying goes.
Oh, the boys from the men?
Something like that. We weed out 20 skiers and start the last and decisive round with the best 30 athletes. The hill record in Kuusamo is held by a Finn, Veli-Matti Lindström, who once flew away from all his rivals with 148 meters.
You said his name well as well, man.
I suppose we can have... What? Now there's a Slovene sitting on the start bar. In a few seconds he'll be on the inline. But before that he has to check his bindings again to make sure he won't lose his skis on takeoff. These things happen. You know what? I really prefer this type of skier. He's never satisfied with what he's attained, but he always tries to get a little better.
Yeah, that's true, Mike. He gets better with every competition. He almost scares me a little.
There is some drizzle, but visibility is okay. After all, these are pros, so they have to be able to adjust to the weather conditions. The textbook telling me everything was correct, from timing to parallel ski position. The spectators are enthusiastic, and rightly so. I think he can be sure to earn a great deal of praise from his coach.
Well, he should do.
Let's take the time to look. To me, he's one of the great surprises of the season. I wouldn't have expected to see him in the top 10.
No, me neither, Mark, but it's those shooting stars who make this sport interesting.
You could use his approach in a video to teach the youngsters perfect posture, thus a minimal air resistance, and it looks very fast. Let's have a look at his score. Wow, it's as good as his jump. That's great to see the judges daring to go that high with their mark.
But they didn't have a choice, Mark.
No.
This was an excellent performance.
He's already proved that he can cope with the very best, but at the crucial moment he often lacks their cool. That's why his rank among the top 20 is justified for the moment. What's wrong with the Russians? They once were very successful, but now...
Well, after the decline of the USSR, many ski jumps went to rack and ruin. There was no money, and more often than not, there was no will to keep on with the sport. Yeah, I think so too. But we're in a small ski jumping community, happy about every one of he ends his career.
I think he'll rejoice again when he has a look at the video of this flight tonight. And his good performance was appreciated by the judges.
This will give him extra motivation for the next competitions.
He's one of the outstanding jumpers this season. He's rightly at the top. His form peaks at the right moment. Many of his colleagues could still learn from him. He's a pro, absolutely concentrated in training and competition. The winning time. Wow, amazing! That was an extraordinarily smooth landing. No shakiness, no swaying. He'll get an excellent score, unless the judges are blind. No one would have bet on him before this season, but things have changed. He's turning in a good performance, and surely no one will ever underestimate him again. So he's among the top 20, and he's doing well.
Yeah, good on him.
With this performance, he stays within the bounds of his possibilities, as opposed to satisfied with it.
Yes, and rightly so. It can still be enhanced, but he can certainly live with it.
Yeah. There aren't many rivals left for him. It's amazing. His performance, and at that age, his distances are virtually always around the Cape Point, or even further.
Yes, I'll take my hat off to him. Great stuff.
He improves from competition to competition, and from jump to jump. Let's see how far up he could get in the ranking.
He should go way up, Mark, I think.
He can be satisfied with his performance so far. It's consistent and strong. He's not yet good enough to be at the very top, but who knows? It might just be around the corner.
Could be.
Perfect landing with a nice telemark. Could you explain to our spectators what's important in a telemark, Colin?
Well, that's easy. A telemark is a thrusting step with the skis. The rear leg is bent down lower than the front leg. So it's a kind of curtsy.
To the public?
No, to the...
This small town is 800 kilometers to the north of Helsinki. Every year, millions of winter sport fanatics come here.
More tourists than inhabitants. You know, sometimes I get that feeling in London too.
Wow, he'll be rejoicing when he sees the style score for his jump. Perfect, the judges say. You actually cannot do better.
Nope, that's absolutely top right.
He's a consistent jumper, but consistently bad. Does the blame lie at his door, Colin?
Well, of course it does. Where else? He simply has to be more serious about his training sessions.
Great approach run, don't you think, Colin?
Yes, it couldn't be better. He's standing perfectly on his skis. If there were style points given for the approach run, he'd get maximum score here, Mike.
Yeah, but he also had some luck with the wax mixture. He chose the right pot for these snow conditions.
And he's going down fast.
What do you think, Colin? Can he win the competition?
Yes, if he does another of those outstanding performances, there's virtually no one to beat him. He's in excellent shape, and of course, he's self-confident enough in his own performance. I'm sure we'll hear from him when it comes to the title fight.
Well, I, for my own part, would be happy to come down the jump without being hurt. But how about you, Colin? Would you be satisfied with his score?
Well, Mark, I'd have to be after a jump like that, but with all due modesty, I have somewhat greater ambition.
If the ski jumps were really roofed over, as certain experts are proposing, competitions would no longer be cancelled because of bad weather conditions.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it would be an enormous investment for the operators. And I think it'd be harmful to the atmosphere. Make my approach run in a tunnel? No, thank you.
Colin, what do you say about the distance?
Well, I think that was a decent distance. That's good. Not very good, but good.
He's one of the skiers who pleasantly surprised the expert this season. He always lived up to their expectations, and he didn't have a single fall this season.
Yeah, last year was quite a different story. Now he's become a really good skier.
Hello, what was that? I wouldn't have thought him capable of such a huge jump. Great rejoicing for him, his coach and his family. How is that possible, Colin?
Well, he simply had an excellent day and did everything right in this jump. Sometimes ski jumping is so easy. Congratulations.
The weather is a bit bleak, but visibility is fine, so there's nothing to rattle the skiers. The winter sport area of Ruka, where Kusamo is located, is a paradise of snow. The average depth of snow is 80 to 90 centimeters, and the ski jump can be used all year round.
That sounds fabulous.
Colin, what do you say about this?
Great, absolutely great. There's not much he can improve on. It was really very good. He put down the skis at the right moment. And what's more important still, Mark, he did an impeccable telemark landing. The judges will appreciate that, I'm sure.
Now we get the chance to analyze all the jumps. Here's the final ranking for you, ladies and gentlemen. After a thrilling competition, next time all skiers have the chance to go for gold. Until then, I say cheerio and adios to my co-commentator, Colin Phillips.
Well, thanks very much there, Mark. It was a pleasure being here, really. I've had great fun. Maybe not quite as much as being one of the jumpers myself, but maybe next time. See you soon. Bye now. Take care.
Goodbye. Here in Kusama, we've not only got ski jumping, but cross-country skiing and biathlon as well. What's a host without an actual practitioner of sport? This time, it's Colin Phillips, and we're very proud to have him here.
At least I can support my home country in this way.
Once again, the best skiers in the world have to prove that they're well prepared for the World Cup season.
Did you notice what effect the wrong wax can have on the skis? He came down and ran like a lame duck.
Well, there's not much to say about this result. Very bad. He badly needs to improve in the next competition, that's for certain.
Couldn't get worse.
Let's have another... We have talked about this several times. Ski jumping is a sport full of imponderables, even mysteries.
Well, that makes it so interesting. You can never be sure what will happen. Psychological problem for us athletes. One moment, we're at the top, the next, we're down.
It's in the nature of it, isn't it?
So to speak.
Thanks. Many jumpers say that it is sometimes harder to get through the qualification round than to win the competition. Be that as it may, the best 50 athletes have managed to get qualified, and we'll see them again in the first round, ladies and gentlemen. That was a really good one. What do you think, Colin?
Yes, I'm impressed by the lad's performance today.
The replay... The fog shouldn't annoy the skiers, as visibility is still relatively good. The hard work and training paid off. His posture is perfect, and the skis are fast as hell. The result is better than anything I have ever seen before, so he makes a great stride forward and leaves a good number of rivals behind him. Where did this performance come from?
Well, I suppose it's due to his continual training, which gives him the self...
This small town is 800 kilometers to the north of Helsinki. Every year, millions of winter sport fanatics come here.
More tourists than inhabitants. You know, sometimes I get that feeling in London, too.
Yes, that's how the landing should look like. There wasn't much wrong with it, was it, Colin?
No, he can be satisfied with that one. The skis were parallel, he didn't dig into the snow, that was good.
Let's have a look at the replay. For him, every... Now tell us, Colin, why aren't you entering any important competitions this year?
Well, actually, it's a little embarrassing. For the reason is my right ankle is injured.
So what's embarrassing about that? Did it happen?
No, that's the point. I recently bought a house in the south of England, you know, and the site is on a bit of a slope.
So you practiced the right posture for takeoff and then...
No, Mark. I was mowing the lawn.
I don't get it.
So, listen, while I'm mowing, I see a stone, and I can't simply mow it over, so I put the lawn...
So, this is the result of the first round. I'm certain that not all skiers were satisfied with. Let's hope that the heavy snowfall won't harm anyone.
Well, Mark, there's always a certain risk if you start under conditions like this, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want to exaggerate, but this score is close to a sensation. He exceeds all expectations.
Yeah, fantastic. Sensational.
Let's. Great season for him. His performance. A rank among the top 20? Let's be honest. That guy isn't yet ready for that.
No.
He's one for the future, that's for sure, but his present collapse could be predicted, couldn't it, Colin?
Well, I think so, and I suppose he knows that in his heart of hearts, too.
Well, that's good for the maximum score. At least that's my opinion. Let's see if the judges agree with me.
Well, I reckon so, Mark. By the way, have you ever tried to make a jump yourself?
No. Why?
Well, it would be nice if you, as a reporter, knew exactly what you were talking about, don't you think?
I can't quite see who's up there. Is it Adam Alish? No, but it is a Polish skier who's preparing for the start. It's not that easy to find the right backswitch, but he got the upper. There you can see the difference it makes in terms of speed.
But only if the posture is right.
But it does, 100%. This is a crunch day for him today. His recent performances have been unconvincing.
Yeah, to say the least.
So mini crisis or no mini crisis, it's time for him to pull himself together. Otherwise, he won't end up with a close and a victory restaurant. This is where he's better than most other jumpers. His takeoff is perfect once again. It's not that easy to find the right point for takeoff at such a high speed, is it?
No, not at all. Things go so fast up there that you sometimes have to feel intuitively when you have to take off. But he just did it perfectly.
I think this is worth having a second look. These are the results of today's competition, ladies and gentlemen. The three winners of the day, cheered by the crowd. Next time, things can turn out quite differently. We hope you'll be with us again. Mark Rafferty
And Colin Phillips.
take their leave of you.
Au revoir, goodbye, and auf Wiedersehen.
We've journeyed far into the north for you. Today, we're in Trondheim, Norway. I'm sure that not only fans of the British team will be happy to hear that my co-commentator today is Colin Phillips. The best skiers in the world are here again for another World Cup competition.
Well, I can't wait to see if they can keep up their high standards.
Maybe they can even improve on it.
Well, who knows? Let's just watch.
That's how it's supposed to look. Calm posture, no fidgeting, no arm movement, and his chest bent far over his skis. No problem with his skis either. The wax is superb. His speed at takeoff will be amazing.
Yeah, it should be.
I suppose we can have a... I wouldn't want to be... He told me before the competition that he had a good feeling. Is that enough to make it to the top, Colin?
Well, I don't think he'll make a top rank now, but he has a lot of fight in him, and if he can improve a little bit, he'll certainly leave the midfield standing.
A sigh of relief from his coach. A problem-free landing that should convince the judges. The score must be good. Otherwise, I'd be astonished.
Yeah, so would I.
Thanks. The weather's a catastrophe today. In Trondheim, you can find the northmost synagogue in the world and a ski jump which promises some good performances, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too.
It's not that easy to find the right waxman job, but he got the upper hand. There you can see the difference it makes in terms of speed.
But only if the posture is right.
But it does, 100%. So what could be done to make ski jumping more popular in England, Colin?
Well, maybe we should just serve some good beer during the competition.
Right. Well, sometimes you can get root beer.
Oh, come on. I don't call that sort of stuff beer.
I wouldn't grudge him a really excellent performance for once, but he's simply not yet at that point, it seems. So the score is justified at this time, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd never disagree with an expert like you, Mark. No.
You wouldn't chase a dog out of the house in such weather. But the skiers, they have to jump, whether they want to or not.
Well, they'll be relieved when it's over, I can tell you.
Successful landing. Time to take a breath. We'll see what the judges think about flight and landing. But, well, I'd say at least the landing was useful.
No, it looks okay to me.
Who would credit it? The V-style technique was introduced at the end of the 80s by the Swedish skier Jan Bokelov. Soon the entire world elite adopted it.
Good ideas, catch me fast.
Yeah, at first he had a lot of points deducted at every jump because of his incorrect posture. That's a no. If he had paid better attention during the flight, he could have got an excellent result. But this is not enough.
Well, that's something you can improve on in training. Nowadays, the right posture is even calculated.
The field of skiers is on a decrease. Only the best 30 athletes will come back for the decisive jump. It's raining cats and dogs now. You can't see your hand in front of your face.
Oh, that's every skier's nightmare up there.
And it's pretty dangerous too.
Yeah.
Great landing. His many fans out there on the screens will be rejoicing.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. Yeah. That looked really good. Excellent landing. You know, putting the skis parallel is an art in itself, and he managed it perfectly.
Let's have... This season, he had planned to be out with the front runners. It's not quite worked out for him, but he's made an impression.
Yeah, he practices a lot and you can feel that he's not satisfied with the medium.
Public don't believe their eyes. Excellent score for him, really a top score. But his performance was excellent too. Congratulations.
Yes, nothing.
Let's... Oh no! No one would have imagined such a decline. A few weeks ago he was close to victory and now he's falling down the rankings. How come, Colin?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he trained too hard. He seems drained to me.
Yeah. His fans at home can relax and lean back now. Everyone can be happy with the score. He's well placed in terms of distance as well as style score. Good. I think that it is not quite Thomas Morgan's turn up there, waiting for the green light. However, it is one of the best skiers in the Austrian pit. Colin, what's your comment on this take?
Well, it looked good, I'd say. The transition from the crouch to the stretch position is one of the most important, maybe the most important moment in the ski jump.
Yeah.
He might go far. Let's just watch his flight.
We're in the home country of ski jumping, Norway. Although the ski jump in Oslo is much more famous than this one here in Trondheim, the atmosphere is great too, especially at the floodlit events.
That's true. I always like that a lot.
Yeah. Great landing. His many fans out there on the screens will be rejoicing.
No, absolutely, Mark.
Yeah.
That looked really good. Excellent landing. You know, putting the skis parallel is an art in itself, and he managed it perfectly.
The atmospheric conditions could hardly be worse.
No, it's more or less a lottery.
Well, there was no improvement to be seen today, nor was there any deterioration. Maybe we should talk about women in ski jumping too. As in many other sports, the ladies hardly manage to emerge from the men's shadow. But I wonder why. Because they also achieve impressive distances. The actual record is held by the Austrian Daniela Iraschko with 200 meters. It might have been worse for him. He can and must be satisfied with the distance. That's his average performance, and he consolidated it today. The skiers are confronted with a very strong crosswind today. The question is, who can cope best with these difficult conditions?
Well, we'll soon find out.
The hard work in training paid off. His posture is perfect, and the skiers are fast as hell. Great jump, great score. Today everything worked out for him, and the judges understood that his performance was outstanding today. In consequence, he gets an excellent score.
Yeah, that was, he really deserved that.
The skier... The pressure is enormous. But if he doesn't get a rank at the very top, his dream of victory this season is as good as over. He seems strained, tired, and done for these days.
But when he sees the public here, he'll put everything he has into it. He still thinks he's capable of a good performance.
There's not much to grumble at. A good score for his jump, but still capable of improvement.
Yeah, he can do a lot better than that.
Let's have another look at the replay. Maybe we overlooked... Today, it's all about who's best able to cope with the lousy weather conditions.
We can sort out the men from the boys on this one.
Colin, what do you say about this?
Great, absolutely great. There's not much you can improve on. It was really very good. He put down the skis at the right moment. Much more important still, Mark, you did an impeccable turnout landing. The judges will appreciate that, I'm sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the final results for your information. I'd be glad to have you with us again next time. And many thanks to my co-commentator, Colin Phillips.
Oh, thanks to you too, Mark. Thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
See you next time. Hello from Trondheim, Norway. In the district of, please excuse my pronunciation, which might be a bit odd, Sør-Trøndelag. I have Colin Phillips with me, an institution in British ski jumping, if I may say so.
Well, let's not exaggerate. Next time I'll be competing again, that's for sure.
We all hope that, and we keep our fingers crossed for you. We have seen some exciting competitions in the World Cup lately, don't you think, Colin?
Yeah, well, that's true. I do hope this event will live up to our expectations, huh?
Now that looked like a decent number. You can do better. But at least there was no danger of fall or anything. I suppose that's okay for him.
Yeah, he'll like that one, I think.
Now, no one would have bet on him before this season, but things have changed. He's turning in a good performance, and surely no one will ever underestimate him again. So he's among the top 20, and he's doing well.
Yeah, good on him.
Oh, he neither disappointed nor convinced us with this jump. What do you say, Colin?
Well, I see it the same way, Mark.
The Reap. Trondheim is the oldest town. What would you tell someone to convince him about the sport?
Well, that's a difficult one. I'd say that ski jumping is not a sport, it's an art, or philosophy even, a religion.
That's laying it on a bit thick, isn't it?
Well, just make a jump yourself, 200 metres down the valley. It'll change your mind, Mark.
Let's have a look at a deep breath for all those who have qualified. That's the 50 best jumpers of the day.
Yes, Mark, and I can see some surprises here. Can't wait to see who will win the competition in the end.
Great approach run, don't you think, Colin?
Yes, it could be better. He's standing perfectly on his skis. If there were style points given for the approach run, he'd get maximum score here, Mark.
Yeah, but he also had some luck with the wax mixture. He chose the right pot for these snow conditions.
And he's going down fast.
Let's have another look at it. There. He's already proved that he can cope with the very best. But at the crucial moment, he often lacks their cool. That's why his rank among the top 20 is justified for the moment. He ends his jump with an okay landing. I can't see any reason for a big point deduction. That was neat, wasn't it, Colin?
Yes, it wasn't outstanding, but I'm always relieved when I land safely.
Thanks to his performance is regular as clockwork. Colin, did you know that your rival, Tommy Ingebrigtsen, was born here in Trondheim, in the shadow of the ski jump, so to speak?
No, I didn't know that, but I will remember Tommy all my life. These movements on the in-run with his knock knees and his corrections during the flight were all too comical.
He's the winning type. He's rightly at the top of the ranking. While others are unsettled by bad conditions such as lack of wind or poor visibility, he just goes for it and makes incredible distances. He seems to have studied all the textbooks about ski jumping and learned them by heart. Well, at least the chapter about landing, that was perfect, wasn't it, Colin?
Yes, indeed. That was great. I didn't see the slightest mistake there.
I suppose. Wow, that was an exciting competition today, don't you think, Colin?
Yeah, well, now we can take a deep breath and look forward to the final decisive round. The best 30 skiers are still in there, and for the other 20, their working day is already over.
You talked about the jump as a filigree system, Colin. What role does the material play?
Well, naturally, it's absolutely crucial. For example, if your angle of attack is not perfect, even the wax mixture, that can spoil the whole season.
The replay. Colin, what's your comment on this performance?
Well, there's not much to criticise, actually. His performance is good, he's calm, and in complete control of the situation. I'd say the only thing he still lacks a little bit is routine and level-headedness.
That was an okay landing there. I've seen many a jumper who would have been happy to end their flight like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And of course, there's always one or two things you can improve. That goes without saying. Let's have a... The slight crosswind might cause some problems today.
Yeah, but any pro will be able to adjust to a light breeze like this, Mark.
Yeah. I think that he's one of the skiers who pleasantly surprised the expert this season. He always lived up to their expectations, and he didn't have a single fall this season.
Yeah, last year was quite a different story. Now he's become a really good skier.
I think the judges will have to give him maximum score. The landing was simply impeccable. Many jumpers will have looked at that with envy. That's exactly how anyone would like to end his flight.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know, let's talk again about the sudden drop in performance in ski jumping.
Yeah, okay, let's look at the German Sven Hannavold, for example.
Yeah, right. It's so strange what's been happening with him.
Well, just look at Janne Ahonen. In the 2002-2003 season, no one would have bet a single penny on him. And then he suddenly emerged at the World Cup and now the four-wheel tournament, and the whole world was stupefied.
Do you think that Sven is still capable of something like that?
Well, I'm convinced he is, my friend.
He's the winning type. He's rightly at the top of the ranking. While others are unsettled by bad conditions such as lack of wind or poor visibility, he just goes for it and makes incredible distances. Wow, excellent landing there. Telemark, the skis touched down flatly, not edged over. That's what the judges want to see. And the public too, of course. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
The last Slovene World Cup winner was Primož Peterka at the end of the 90s. So it's high time a Slovene makes it to the top again, isn't it?
Yeah, this one might make it, Mark. Let's hope he's got the right wax mixture.
You could use his approach in a video to teach the youngsters perfect posture, thus minimal air resistance, and it looks very fast. Well, you can be sure that he'll go to bed happy tonight. He made the most of his capabilities today. That was a decent performance, and a good result for him. Now we... In the 1940s and 50s, there was a very special man at home here in Trondheim. His name was Arnfinn Bergman. He became Norwegian football champion in 1948, and 5 years later he won the gold medal in ski jumping in the Olympic Winter Games in Oslo. Things like that wouldn't happen now. You can see an upward trend in his performance, and I don't think there's one rival who still underestimates him.
All right, Mark. But he hasn't beaten me yet.
Nope. So, this is an overview of the final ranking, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an exciting competition today, and that's how we like it. We'll see you next time. It's goodbye from Mark Rafferty.
And from me, Colin Phillips, thanks and goodbye.
Bye. We're on the northern faith of Mount Antovahora, where no fewer than 5 ski jumps make our skiing heart race. Today, I have expert help on my side.
It's a very different experience watching the others jump for once. Maybe I'll take over your job soon, Mark.
We're looking forward to another ski jumping in the World Cup. Let's see who can make it to the top today.
Well, Mark, in this sport, everything's possible.
A textbook telemark. Everything was correct, from timing to parallel ski position. The spectators are enthusiastic, and rightly so. I think he can be sure to earn a great deal of praise from his coach.
Yeah, he should do.
The replay. After the competition, it's me who must fly. I have a date.
Oh, give me a break. You never spot those puns, do you?
Well, he certainly isn't a talent like Janne Ahonen or Jakob Janda yet, but he turned in a solid performance. That's good ski jumping, don't you think?
Yes, Mark, and the judges think so too, by the look of it. So with the distance he achieved...
So this is the result of the qualification round. Let's see who's among the top 50, so we can tell who will start again today. Because for the skiers on rank 51 and lower, it's the end of the competition. That was a good jump. Not a very good one, and the score reflects that. I think the judges made a wise decision. I suppose. His performance is regular as clockwork this season. He's always in the top group. His practice seems to pay off.
Absolutely. He wouldn't let anyone pass him now, but on the other hand, he's not yet good enough to make the decisive step towards becoming number one.
Let's have a... There are still many skiers better than him. Many who are worse. His performance and his attitude are right. He just needs a little bit of luck to play at the top.
Yeah, we all need a bit of luck.
Great approach run, don't you think, Colin?
Yes, it could be better. He's standing perfectly when he skis. If there were style points given for the approach run, he'd get maximum score here, Mark.
Yeah. But he also had some luck with the wax mixture. He chose the right pot for these snow conditions.
And he's going down fast.
Now we get... For all those who are... Who would credit it? He's kept up his consistent performance and achieved a rank among the top 20. He can give himself a pat on the back for that.
Yeah, true.
There's no improving on that, eh? Timing, explosivity, everything was 100% perfect. Let's have a... We're in the giant mountains. I think we've seen some nice, and what's more, long jumps. And I also think that the best 30 skiers absolutely deserve to be in the final round. I feel a bit sorry for the others, but that's how it goes in sports. Not... I would like to ask you something, Colin. For many people, ski jumping is totally serious, but at the same time, it's a big show and should be fun above all.
Show? Listen, ski jumping virtually belongs to the arts. It demands absolute seriousness and devotion to the sport.
Well, I had a colleague who made a joke about UFOs flying over the jump. He was bombed with hate mail.
I can imagine, because it's inappropriate to make fun of sports.
I didn't say that.
No.
Let's have... There are still many skiers better than him. Many who are worse. His performance and his attitude are right. He just needs a little bit of luck to play at the top.
Yeah, we all need a bit of luck.
The hard-working training paid off. His posture is perfect, and the skis are fast as hell. Would you have thought that he's good enough already for such a performance, Colin?
No, actually not, Mark. But in ski jumping, there's always a bit of good luck that might add to your abilities. And that's what he had today.
Yeah. To me, he's one of the great surprises of the season. I wouldn't have expected to see him in the top 10.
No, me neither, Mark. But it's those shooting stars who make this sport interesting.
Wow. This might turn into a good flight. A takeoff to put the fear of God into his opponents. Perfect conditions for an excellent distance. At the first ski jumping competition in 1893, which did not take place in Norway, but in Austria, a manure heap was used as a ski jump.
Oh, wow. God, that must have smelt really good. Fortunately, some things have changed in architecture.
Yeah. That's how it's supposed to look.
Yep.
Calm posture, no fidgeting, no arm movement, and his chest bent far over his skis. No problem with his skis either. The wax is superb. His speed at takeoff will be amazing.
Well, it should be.
Thanks to technology, there are 5 ski jumps on this northern slope of the Ertova Hora mountain. Perfect start for his flight. The takeoff was excellent.
However, there's always a little bit of luck in it, but this one was precise and powerful.
Yes, it was. Who would credit it? He's kept up his consistent performance and achieved a rank among the top 20. He can give himself a pat on the back for that.
Yeah, true.
I always find it odd that today's ski jumping heroes are here today but gone tomorrow, fallen into oblivion.
Well, literally.
Seriously, what do you think is the reason for this?
As I said, ski jumping is a question of psychology, above all. And it's even metaphysical sometimes. There's probably no other sport where innocence is as important as ski jumping.
After this rock-solid performance, he can go back to the hotel in a good mood and take a shower with his teammates.
Oh, wow.
And the score adds to a successful day. The excitement before the start. This Austrian skier's pulse is beginning to race. That's how the takeoff has to be. An explosive extension of the body at the right point on the jump table, and then an intensely powerful takeoff.
Yeah, that's impressive.
There's a pretty strong tailwind now that might cause some unpleasant surprises.
Yes, it's really difficult to make a good takeoff with such a strong wind.
You could use this approach in a video to teach the youngsters perfect posture, thus minimal error resistance, and it looks very fast. The hard training over the last few weeks has paid off, and it's reflected by the results. No reason to be dissatisfied with you, say, Colin.
No, we can pack his skis with a clear conscience and try to attack again in the next competition.
Yeah. What do you think, Colin? Can he win the competition?
Yes, if he does another of those outstanding performances, there's virtually no one to beat him. He's in excellent shape and, of course, he's self-confident enough in his own performance. I'm sure we'll hear from him when it comes to the title fight.
What can you say about a score like that? We've seen an amazing jump, and that's what the judges thought too. This is a dream score.
That's what I want to see.
There aren't many rivals left for him. It's amazing. His performance, and at that age, his distances are virtually always around the Cape Point, or even further.
Yes, I'll take that hat off to him. Great stuff.
Colin, have you ever seen a takeoff as perfect as this one?
Rarely, very rarely. I have to admit it. He did a great jump up there.
You can see an upward trend in his performance, and I don't think there's one rival who still underestimates him.
Bad luck. But he hasn't beaten me yet.
Nope. We're in the giant mountains close to the Polish border. It's not that easy to find the right wax mixture today, but he got the upgrade. There you can see what difference it makes in terms of speed.
But only if the posture is right.
But it does, 100%. I think this is worth having. Let's have a look at the overall ranking after this fascinating competition.
Yes.
The winners' fans are cheering, but the skiers on the second and third place can be satisfied too with their performance today, I think.
Me too.
And thanks to all the others who made today such an enjoyable day. So see you next time. Mark Rafferty and the British ski jumping star Colin Phillips say goodbye to you now.
Ah, well, next time I'd prefer to be up there on the ski jump myself,
Yes.
Mark.
Looking forward to it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Welcome in Harachov, which literally means village of Harach, on the edge of the giant mountains. Colin Phillips, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the big names in British ski jumping.
It's a great pleasure to me, my friends. Thank you very much for the invitation, and hello, everybody.
And again, we can have a look at the best skiers for another World Cup event. Now that's So it's supposed to look.
Yep.
Calm posture, no fidgeting, no arm movement, and his chest bent far over his skis. No problem with his skis either. The wax is superb. His speed at takeoff will be amazing.
Yeah, it should be.
Let's... So this was the first hurdle on the way to victory that was cleared by 50 skiers. They made their way through the qualification round and now can get on with it. Colin, how often have you missed a qualification?
Well, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times maybe. Well, Mark, it did happen once in a while. But often it's just bad luck.
That's a pretty good score for him. I think I would have judged his ride similarly. He didn't make any mistakes, and that's what the judges thought as well.
Yeah, I think they did it right there.
Now, great season for him. His performance is consistently good or even very good, and that's reflected in the ranking. He'll keep his place in the top 10. No way he's going to be pushed out.
No, I don't see that.
I think he can be satisfied with his score after all. That was an okay performance, Colin.
Yeah, absolutely. He deserves his beer tonight. Maybe even 2.
The replay. He wanted to be perched at the very top, but a few good performances simply won't do. Recently, nothing is working in his favor. He really needs a turning point. Well, that's good for the maximum score. At least that's my opinion. Let's see if the judges agree with me.
Well, I reckon so, Mark. By the way, have you ever tried to make a jump yourself?
No. Why?
Well, it would be nice if you, as a reporter, knew exactly what you were talking about, don't you think? Anyway, you're doing fine.
Thank you, Colin. Nothing's working for him this season. Do you understand? He can be satisfied with his performance so far. It's consistent and strong. He's not yet good enough to be at the very top, but who knows? It might just be around the corner.
Could be.
The hard training over the last few weeks has paid off, and it's reflected by the results. No reason to be dissatisfied with him, say Colin.
No, he can pack his skis with a clear conscience and try to attack again in the next competition.
Yeah. Some people still think that Telemark is an American TV star.
I beg your pardon.
Well, wow, that was an exciting competition today, don't you think, Colin?
Yeah, well, now we can take it.
There are 5 ski jumps on this northern slope of the Ertova Horai mountain. Looks good in takeoff today. It could be a little more explosive than the real powerful, but this is really an okay performance. You can live with that.
Yeah, you should be pretty pleased.
There's a slight mist, but visibility is still very good. If he had concentrated a bit more during the flight, and if he had jumped a little farther, well, then he might have gotten a better score. But if doesn't help him here. The score is appropriate. Basta.
Yeah.
Visibility is... Tell us your recipe for success, Colin.
Well, if you ask me, a jump is an extraordinary filigree system. The slightest imprecision, and you're out. So the thing is to avoid any mistakes.
Okay, and how do you do that?
Well, first, it has to become automatic. That means practice, practice, practice. Secondly, you need concentration. That means mental strength. That's the crucial point, in fact.
Thanks to technology, the upwind might give wings to the skiers today. I can assure you that we'll see some good distances, and I wouldn't be surprised if the record was beaten. A sigh of relief from his coach. A problem-free landing that should convince the judges. The score must be good. Otherwise, I'd be astonished.
Yeah, so would I.
The weather is, as you might say, not the best in the world.
Well, the authorities should really think carefully about whether it makes sense to hold the competition under such weather conditions.
Yeah,
they should really give it a second thought.
It's not that easy to find the right wax mixture today, but he got the upper. There you can see what difference it makes in terms of speed.
But with the posture as well.
But it does 100%. Now there's a skier from the young German team.
I can't wait to see if he can reach the top distances.
Great. Superb. A very, very nice take.
Excellent.
As if he had pushed the right button at the right moment.
Super. Absolutely super.
We're in the giant mountains close to the Polish border. The hard work and training paid off. His posture is perfect, and the skis are fast as hell. The public don't believe their eyes. Excellent score for him, really a top score. But his performance was excellent too. Congratulations.
Yeah, knockout.
How far does this guy want to go? He's directly behind the top 10 now. Can you explain this development, Colin?
Well, it's hard to say. Maybe he simply found the right technique and it's clicked.
Is that it? A sigh of relief from his coach. A problem-free landing that should convince the judges. The score must be good. Otherwise, I'd be astonished.
Yeah, so would I.
At the beginning, the posture was much more important in ski jumping than the distance.
Oh, no wonder. If you look at old pictures, the skiers are as straight as a ramrod, and they thrash their arms around like mad. I wouldn't call this aesthetic.
That was an okay jump for him, considering his potential. But compared to the top skiers, he still has some work to do.
I'm sure he'll make it, Mark.
The weather's a catastrophe today. Let's hope there won't be any jumpers on the hill. You could use this approach in a video to teach the youngsters perfect posture, thus a minimal air resistance, and it looks very fast. He's one of the skiers who pleasantly surprised the expert this season. He always lived up to their expectations. and he didn't have a single fall this season.
Yeah, last year was quite a different story. Now he's become a really good skier.
Yes, right pull for takeoff. Well done.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
Wow, excellent landing. Telemark, the skis touched down flatly, not edged over. That's what the judges want to see. And the public too, of course. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
He's one of the outstanding jumpers this season, and he's rightly at the top. His form peaks at the right moment. Many of his colleagues could still learn from him. He's a pro, absolutely concentrated in training and competition. He'll win it. Visibility might be better, but the fog is not thick enough to cause serious problems to the skiers. His takeoff training seems to have paid off. No problems on the jump table. Not too early, not too late. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was great.
Now there's a lot of snow coming down. I'm certain that the visibility up there on the start bar is really poor.
Yeah, you can't see nothing.
What can you say about a score like that? We've seen an amazing jump, and that's what the judges thought too. This is a dream score.
That's what I like to see.
Let's have a look at the overall ranking after this fascinating competition.
Yes.
The winners' fans are cheering, but the skiers on the second and third place can be satisfied too with their performance today, I think.
Me too.
And thanks to all the others who made today such an enjoyable day. So we'll see you next time. Mark Rafferty and the British ski jumping star Colin Phillips say goodbye to you now.
Ah, well, next time I prefer to be up there on the ski jump myself,
Yes.
Mark.
Looking forward. I think you have to get a little closer to the microphone there, Colin.
Yes, thanks.
We welcome you to the ski jumping in Engelberg, Switzerland, from one of the biggest and most beautiful... I have a special guest today, Colin Phillips. Would you mind me saying that it's a stroke of luck, in a certain way, that you're not participating in the competition today?
Oh, no, I take it as a compliment. Seeing all that bustle around, I'd really like to go up there and jump myself. But this time I'll leave it to the other skiers.
We're looking forward to another World Cup competition with the pros. Let's have a look at the score. Wow, it's as good as his jump. That's great to see the judges daring to go that high with their mark.
But they didn't have a choice, Mark.
No.
This was an excellent performance that had to be
Great. As the weather conditions are always an uncontrollable variable in ski jumping, experts are considering roofing over the in-run with a perspex tube. What do you think of that, Colin?
Oh no. The open sky, the fresh air. I'd miss it all too much.
Well, the distance is pretty okay, but if he wants to play in the top group, he'll have to practice a lot. Yeah. At least if you take this jump as typical. If you can. Let's have a look at the replay. Now there's a skier from the So this was the first hurdle on the way to victory that was cleared by 50 skiers. They made their way through the qualification round and now can get on with it. Colin, how often have you missed a qualification?
Well, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times maybe. Well, Mark, it did happen once in a while. But often it's just bad luck.
Great jump, great score. Today everything worked out for him, and the judges understood that his performance was outstanding today. In consequence, he gets an excellent score.
Yeah, that was, he really deserved that.
Let's take the time. Ski jumping developed from downhill at the end of the 18th century. The inhabitants of a small town in the province of Norway called Telemark probably got bored by always just racing straight down into the valley, so they started to jump over small elevations. At least that's the story spun by the sport historians about the origins of the sport. His performance today is not a surprise. It's neither better nor worse than the last time. He's just plugging along at the same level.
Chugging, even.
I suppose. Knock, knock. There's someone knocking hard at the door of the top 10.
Yeah, he's got the will to get to the very top, and he subordinates everything else to this goal.
An okay jump, let's put it like that. He certainly won't rejoice about the distance, I'm pretty sure of that. Let's have another. Have you ever considered a career? This season, he had planned to be out with the front runners. It's not quite worked out for him, but he's made an impression.
Yeah, he practices a lot, and you can feel that he's not satisfied with the medium rank.
Great approach run, don't you think, Colin?
Yes, it could be better. He's standing perfectly on his skis. If there were style points given for the approach run, he'd get maximum score here, Mark.
Yeah, but he also had some luck with the wax mixture. He chose the right pot for these snow conditions.
And he's going down fast.
Let's have a look. So, this is the result of the first round. I'm certain that not all skiers will be satisfied with the ranking. The bottom 20 disappear from view, for they were simply not good enough for this final. In case you didn't know, Erika Hess, the outstanding slalom skier of the 80s, comes from here. But today we want to see the ski jumping, of course.
Well, yeah, I remember Erika, but we do want to see the ski jumping.
Yeah. Today he's consolidated his performance with another good jump.
Excellent.
The reap. Up 1 minute, down the next. Typical of him. He almost made it to the very top, and then came the decline. There's every chance he'll drop out of the top 10. What's his problem, Colin?
Well, even if I knew, I wouldn't tell him. He's my rival, Mark. No, to be honest, this is not only about his form in the day. Maybe he's got some private problems too. Who knows?
Now we get the chance to analyze all the jumps. No one would have bet on him before this season, but things have changed. He's turning in a good performance, and surely no one will ever underestimate him again. So he's among the top 20, and he's doing well.
Yeah, good on him.
A good distance there. He leaves some opponents behind him with that performance. Well, the score is just a little above average, but it's hard work to get there too. For him, it was a good day, I think.
Well, I agree with you, Mark. He's shown what he's capable of at the moment, and that's not too bad at all.
Well, you can't complain about the weather today.
No, the weather conditions are perfect.
His fans at home can relax and lean back now. Everyone can be happy with the score. He's well placed in terms of distance as well as style score. At first, ski jumping was a sport for amateurs. Commercialization only started in the 70s. From then on, the competitions were shown on TV so that people all over the world could watch them. It was about the same period that the number of professional jumpers increased significantly. I think the judges will have to give a maximum score. The landing was simply impeccable. Many jumpers will have looked at that with envy. That's exactly how anyone would like to end his flight.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Engelberg is a paradise for off-piste and cross-country skiers.
That's a bit risky, though.
Unfortunately, it is, because people don't always respect the safety instructions.
No, that's the problem.
Textbook takeoff. Best conditions for a very long jump. Great.
Fantastic.
Wow, he'll be rejoicing when he sees the style score for his jump. Perfect, the judges say. You actually cannot do better.
No, that's absolutely top rank.
To me, he's one of the great surprises of the season. I wouldn't have expected to see him in the top 10.
No, me neither, Mark, but it's those shooting stars who make this sport interesting.
That's how it's supposed to look.
Yep.
Calm posture, no fidgeting, no arm movement, and his chest bent far over his skis. No problem with his skis either. The wax is superb. His speed at takeoff will be amazing.
Well, it should be.
If we don't see any good jumps today, it won't be because of the weather. But of course, we expect the skiers to turn in some good performances.
Oh, well, I'll be expecting them to.
So, recently, he seems to be so tense. He's simply unable to keep cool enough to turn in top performances. Maybe he thought he could simply pull good distances out of the hat. But It didn't work out.
Didn't work out this time.
He seems to have studied all the textbooks about ski jumping and learned them by heart. Well, at least the chapter about landing, that was perfect, wasn't it, Colin?
Yes, indeed. That was great. I didn't see the slightest mistake there.
Thanks to technology, he's the winning type. He's rightly at the top of the ranking. While others are unsettled by bad conditions such as lack of wind or poor visibility, he just goes for it and makes incredible distances. This jump, or better, this jumper, is the surprise in this competition. I suppose that no one would have bet on him before. That was an extraordinary performance.
I really didn't know he was capable of such long distance.
No.
I can hardly believe it now, really.
Yeah, who knew? Would you tell us what the private Colin Phillips does in his leisure time? Maybe he grows roses or plays football?
Roses? Football? Well, I like football, but no, none of them, Mark. You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
No, come on.
I love computer games.
No!
Yes, I do. It's great for relaxation, especially before competitions.
So, this is an overview of the final ranking, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an exciting competition today, and that's how we like it. We'll see you next time. It's goodbye from Mark Rafferty.
And from me, Colin Phillips, thanks and goodbye.
Bye.